Hello everyone, this is Priyanka. Welcome to my channel Automation with Priyanka. Welcome back again for Selenium 4 series. Today in this session, I will be discussing about how to automate any drop-down. Okay. So usually when you observe any website, right? Website contains several UI elements. You will be getting forms, you will be getting text field, frame, iframe, radio button, checkboxes, and the drop-down, which is the most common scenario to understand. Okay. So yes, whenever you observe any application, how the drop-down get developed by the developer, first of all, we need to understand how we can start with automation testing. So guys, let me show you. Suppose if I open here Amazon application, okay? When you go to Amazon, I mean any web application, and if you want to automate this application, right? What is the first step? You need to understand whatever element you want to automate. First, get the address of that element. That is the first step. Means you need to right click, you need to go to the inspect option, and you will be inspecting that element, right? First of all, you need to understand the locator. And then based on that, you will prepare your automation script. So when it comes to the drop down, right? Every drop down it creates in a different way. Let's say somewhere you will be having HTML select tag, right, which is the most common tag. Somewhere the drop downs get created using UL tag, an order list. Somewhere li tag will be there, or somewhere you might get div tag or any kind of button tag. Are you getting my point? So drop down can be designed with any of this tag. So today I will be covering how to handle any drop down which is designed with select tag. Okay, because in Selenium, to handle a drop down or to automate a drop down, we have two important types to understand. First common drop down type, that is called select based drop down. How we can handle any select tag based drop down. And second one is I will be covering how to handle any dynamic drop down. So dynamic or auto suggestive drop down I will be covering in next video. So today let's talk about what is select base and how exactly you guys are able to handle any drop down if it is designed with select base. So generally guys, whenever you observe any drop down, you need to understand first step like what drop down it is and what type of drop down it is. Whenever you observe a drop down and if it is designed with select tag, then such a drop down we have in Selenium. Okay, to handle such a drop down in Selenium, we have a different methods. Those methods are the predefined methods. Technically, Selenium WebDriver provides to you to handle this select based drop down. We have a select class available. Okay, and we have some predefined methods under that. That's the reason. Very first step, you need to confirm what type of drop down it is. Example. Now if I go to Amazon, right? And here you can see we have a drop down, right? So first we need to confirm what type of drop down it is. If you can see, if I right click and if I just go to inspect option, here you will see the highlighted area, which is a code prepared by developer for such a drop down. Agree? Now you can see the code begins with which tag? It is select base tag. So whenever you will notice select tag is there, such a drop down we can handle using select class. Let me show you another example. If I can open some other application, let me show you GoIBibo, right? So let's talk about, just a minute. Let me open properly GoIBibo application. And if you can see this application, and here if you want to search, these are the drop downs, right? And this is another example, auto suggestive drop down. But if you can see how it is designed, if you right click and if you just go to inspect option, here you will not have any select tag. You might be getting p, div, any other tag, correct? So such a drop down automation, it is totally different. And the drop down, those are designed with select tag. It is totally different. The first step is you need to understand what type of drop down it is. Now you can see in Amazon we have a drop down and that is purely based on select tag. So I will be taking this scenario to explain you how we can automate this drop down and how we can prepare your automation script. So the first point, what the scenarios you will be understanding in this particular video. First of all, if you want to confirm is your dropdown supported for multiple value selection, so we have is multiple method for that. Okay, so let me explain different scenarios. Just to handle single value or single option. If you really want to select only single option from the current drop down, you can use these three methods: select by visible text, select by index, or select by value. Just to understand how the drop down is supported or whether it is supported or not for multiple value selection, you can use this is multiple method. And guys, just to get all the options from the drop down, you want to automate it, right? We can use get options method. So there are multiple methods available, but depends on your scenario. You can use it and you can automate your application. So let me start with today's session, how we can handle, how we can automate our drop down, and that's a select based drop down. So I will be creating, okay, new package. In the last session, we have discussed about locators. We have discussed different locators and how we can handle such a locators, right? Different types of locators. Today I will be starting with the drop down. So these are web elements, different web elements which we can automate, right? So I will be creating here a package name. It is all about elements. Let me just write elements handling. Under element handling, I will be creating my first scenario. So let me design a class. This is select based drop down. Okay. And let me take a main function. How we can automate? Just have a look. First thing is what? We need to create our session, right? So I will be writing create a driver session. So how we can simple create it? You need to write WebDriver driver, it is equal to new. And then we are writing Chrome driver object, correct? So here, let me import WebDriver from Selenium. Let me import Chrome driver from Selenium package. Once it is done, your driver session will create. Let me start our session with application. I would like to open Amazon application. So let me just write www.amazon.in. Okay. Just provide proper URL address. Guys, this will launch your application within that Chrome browser, right? Now, what is the next step? Very first, identify that drop down. So we need to understand, we need to get the locator for drop down. So here I will be writing a step, locator for drop down. You need to identify. Okay. So at this moment, let me write locator for drop down. So where is the drop down in Amazon? Here it is, right? And if you just observe, when you inspect it, you are getting select tag. Now we need first locator. So here you can see we have ID, right? Search drop down box. Even we have a name. It's up to you which locator to be used. But what we have learned in Selenium WebDriver, primary locator is always ID. So if you have a plain ID, you can directly select that ID. So let me just copy the value. And here I will first identify my drop down. So driver dot find element by ID, and here I will be writing that locator. Correct? This find element method will help you to identify single web element. So let me declare it as web element element 1. Okay. This is my element. And what is web element in Selenium? So web element is interface in Selenium. You can import it directly from the package org.openqa.selenium. So I have imported this and this is my drop down element, right? Now drop down is based on select tag. That's the reason we can use select class. So select is a predefined class in Selenium. You will be creating object for the same to access method of that class. So I will be writing select. You can provide any name. So let me just write now drop down. Okay. So I'm just writing drop down. It is equal to new. And again I'm writing select constructor. And in the constructor you need to pass that drop down element which I have written as a element 1. So I will be writing that address element 1. So every time whenever you create an object for select a class, you need to provide drop down element address into the constructor, right? Now you can see, let's import select class from package of Selenium, and you can see the package name selenium.support.ui. That's a package name available, right? So we are going to import it from the same package. Once it is done, now you can automate as per your requirement. So here the first step is I would like to check that whether my drop down it support multiple value selection. So I will be writing here, is dropdown support, any message you can write, okay, multiple value. So let me test whether Amazon dropdown select or support multiple values. How you can test it? So you need to write here dropdown dot, and there is a method available, is multiple method. Please have a look. Is multiple method returns you boolean result. Means if dropdown support multiple value, you will get a true. Otherwise, you will get a false. Correct? And then suppose what I want to do is, I would like to select single values. Okay. How you can select any single value from the dropdown? So we have ready-made methods for that, right? But before continue single value selection, let's test whether this dropdown support multiple value selection at a time or single value only. So let's test this one method, is multiple method. Let me run. So if I execute this entire test case, just have a look the result. First of all, when you execute it, you will able to see the browser, and within a browser Amazon will open, right? And here you can see the result. I'm getting a result false. Basically, this drop down doesn't support multiple value selection at a time. So I'm getting a result as a false. But now it is time to understand how we can apply single value selection method. For that, you need to understand three important terms. What is index, what is value, and what is visible text. Please look at the screen properly. Whenever you can see this particular script here, right, which is prepared by the developer. If I expand this select, right, initially it will be like this. You need to click on this arrow and you will expand it, right? Here you can see something. First of all these options we are going to automate. But option tag, now the tag is option, right? If you click on here, you are able to see entire UI part. But the code for this UI, it is written here under option. So you can see there is an option tag and there is one value available. This is a value. Basically, whenever you are selecting any single option from this drop down using select by value, there you can add this value, right? So value means you will be writing value attribute value. Clear? Visible text means what? See, text is always written in between opening and in between closing tag. So here you can see all categories, Alexa skill, Amazon fashion, all these things are what? Visible text. And guys, when it comes to the index, indexing in Java always start with 0. So this is the first element, index value will be 0. Second element, index value will be 1. Third element, index value will be 2. This is how you can apply indexing for those elements. So let me show you all three methods and how we can select single options from that particular dropdown. So guys, if I come back to my script, first of all, we need to write dropdown, right? Dropdown dot, here you can see the method select by index, select by value, and select by visible text. If I can provide select by index, right? And suppose I'm writing index value as 3. So which value it will select? Just observe the script again. If this is 0, 1, 2, 3, definitely it will select Amazon fashion. Okay. So if I apply index value, you have to just write integer index number and this will select a one option in the output, that is Amazon fashion. And just have a look. If I execute the same scenario, please observe the step-by-step result. Now you can see here the value got selected Amazon fashion. Got it? So as per the index, we have selected successfully one single option. But let me show you another one, right? I will be using again drop down, select by value. Here I will be writing certain value as a string. So absolutely go back and here in the code, you can check any value. Let's take any value. So for deal, I'm having this value. Okay, search allies today's deal. Let me copy this. I will come back and I will just paste it here. Okay. Now we need to just take attribute value, right? So we can remove that attribute name and this value is enough. But guys, if I show you this script, it will be quick execution. Just to pause, okay, just to pause in between the step, I will be using static wait in Selenium that is called thread.sleep. Let me apply 2-second gap and here When you apply this method, you will get one exception, right? Interrupted exception, which you need to handle. So at this moment, let me throw this compile time exception. And now let me show you how the second option it will select in that same drop down. Again, you can see, first of all, Amazon fashion, and after that, you will able to see deals because I have provided same value for this deals option. And perfect. This is how your script is working fine. Now let me show you one more time, third step, right? But before that, let me again add thread.sleep. Now please have a look, last option, drop down dot, select by visible text. Visible text means any text in between opening and closing tag. So example, if I can little bit scroll down, right? And let's select any option. Okay, there is a Prime Video. Let me select this option. Okay. So visible text you need to capture actually, and you will be writing here that visible text. Now what we are expecting, after 2 seconds, it will show you last option selected, that is Prime Video. And let's run this entire scenario. So single value selection, this is how you guys are able to do. Okay. And just observe the result. Amazon fashion, after 2 seconds, it will select deals. After 2 seconds, it will select Prime Video. And perfect. This is how single value automation you guys can simple do in Selenium WebDriver. That for dropdown, which is simply based on select base. But now what if I want to select all the option? I mean, I want to capture all the option. I just want to check that how many options are there inside that drop down. For that reason, we have a very beautiful method. Just write drop down and there is a method get options. Okay. Get options method always return you list of web element. When you use this method and just declare it as a list of web element, at this moment guys, in Java session we have already covered what list it is. List is a collection interface. Technically it is an interface only, it is a part of collection interface only, but list is always return you order collection, correct? It is always in order and it is purely based on indexing. Even duplicate values are allowed in the list interface, right? So at this moment I will be writing all options, right? So let me import list from java.util package. Now guys, first step, I would like to confirm how many total options are there in that drop down. So let me write total options are, and here I will be writing all options dot, there is a method, size method that we can follow. So whenever I write size, this will capture total options available in that drop down. But along with that, I would like to print all the options in my console. So here you can write iteration. So in Java, whenever you have a list of elements available, you can directly iterate using for each loop. So let me apply for each loop here. Web element I, then I will be writing all options, correct? And here, just to get a text of each and every element, I will be writing a method get text method, correct? This particular script will help you to print all the options in a console. So just look at the screen and look at the output. So depends on your scenario, you guys can automate any, but whenever it is select based drop down, this is how you need to understand how we can exactly work with select based drop down. And you can see I'm able to capture all the options in the console, right? And how many total options are there in the drop down? Total options are 46. Again, there is a one more scenario. Let's say out of these options, you want to select any specific option. Example, I would like to look for video games, right? So guys, under this iteration, you can put the condition. Example, I can write this way, right? If I dot get text, right? Dot contains what? Video games. If there is a video games available, do click on it. So I will be writing I dot click. So after that web element selection, I will not, I would like, I just want to stop this iteration, right? I just want to break this iteration, right? So I don't want to select or I don't want to continue with the next iteration. So in Java, we have a very simple branching statement that is a break. you can apply break here. And absolutely what will happen? It will first capture all the text, right? Till the video games. Whenever video games found at that moment, it will directly select that option and it will break the loop. So break statement, whenever you apply, it will directly exit from that loop, right? And this is how you can automate any select based dropdown. Let me show you result. Now you can see again Amazon application open. First it is performing single selection and you can just have a look. After that video games option got selected. So this is all about select based dropdown automation in Selenium WebDriver. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned. All the best.